This is a story of love letters written from Art, my grandfather, to Lois, my grandmother, back in 1944 when he was serving in World War II. The story begins when they're just 21 years old. We are now on letter 2. Just to recap from last week, Art and Lois have met each other once. They've exchanged addresses. Art's first letter was post-dated 4 days before this next letter we're about to read. We know that they're about to meet the following weekend, and we know that Lois has made a promise to Art, but we don't know what the promise is quite yet. That's the difficulty with this story. We only have the letters going from Art to Lois. So we only have one side of the story. So this love story has a bit of a mystery to it. And I've always loved a good mystery. So I love trying to figure out and fill in the details that I do not know. This letter is dated April 8th, 1944, and it begins, "Dear Shorty." And I just think that's so sweet. He's already giving her a nickname, Shorty. And you can see, she's pretty short, 4'8" to be exact. And he writes, "I thought I better write again after receiving your letter, as the other one went to the old address. It probably won't get to you now." Well, we know it did, because we read it last week. "Your letter was really swell, even though the first line wasn't exactly complimentary. Suppose you hadn't promised a letter. Would you have written anyway?" Oh, well, now we know what she promised. She promised to write him a letter. He continues, "You've most likely not noticed the manpower shortage, but there is one, honest. Now, you're a girl after my own heart, giving out the info on the new place, telephone number, etc. I'm on set now, and I will be there with bells on, even if it means going up over the hill. At any rate, we'll call on Thursday to get the first-hand dope." I think he means info. He continues, "Say, you haven't got much faith in me, have you? I gave you my word, and I'm still going strong. After all, it was an argument me not touching the stuff, and I'd have a date, right? Don't think for a moment I'm not earning that date. In our barracks, we have a PA who sells beer. Every day I go through there and my buddies just want to treat me. It's really no hardship though, Lois, when I think of next Friday." Already promising just because he wants to see her. I find that so sweet. "Norfolk is simply rotten," meaning the town. "Only use the place to get up and wash. The base is okay, although we do have a bit of a trouble with the guard detail. We'll explain about it sometime if you're interested. Also, we'll let you know why I'm home. As for what I'm doing at present, absolutely nothing. We'll only be here a month and a half." Interesting. I thought he was stationed here, but it comes to the conclusion he was actually home when he met her. "Yep, I like to do just about anything. You said something about skating while up there. Well, I'd like to try that again. It's been nigh on 3 years since I had them on. That means roller skating. Ice skating is my home. Lois, it's now time for all good men to hit the sack. Now don't you work too hard. Don't worry about me, simply an onlooker. And ditto to your last words. As always, Art. P.S. Pardon the scratchy. No can write." Okay, so now it's time for question, answers, conclusions, and commentary by Deborah. Yep, that's me. I am the granddaughter of these two lovely people. And question 1 from last week was, where can I find Southern hospitality so I can go experience it if it still exists today? I'm still looking for the answer to that question, although my father did share details that Lois, when they did move up north to where I actually live in their house today, that Lois began working for the government, and she was a huge union advocate, and he considered this another extension of her Southern hospitality. Question 2 from last week was, what was the condition of these boys that they felt guilty going into a church to be fed? Well, I think I can conclude that the reason they felt guilty is they had a little too much to drink that day. Otherwise, Lois wouldn't be having an argument with Art, asking him to promise to lay off the stuff in order to have a first date. And I just gotta say, good for her, being a woman with boundaries right off the bat. Question 3 from last week was, did we not feed our soldiers? Why did he have to wire home for money? And I found out from my mother that we did pay the soldiers, but the money got sent to their homes where they grew up. So if they wanted any, they would have to wire home. And $50 was a lot of money. It was a whole month's rent back then, and that's what he was asking for, and he only got 30. Question 4 from last week was, who is Frankie Seaman? And I'm still looking for the answer for that one. It's going to probably just stay on the back burner a bit. And question 5 was, what did Lois promise to Art? And now we know it was the letter. I can say already Lois is revealing herself to be a woman of compassion, service, healthy boundaries, and staying true to her word. I already admire her. I already did. She's my grandmother. Okay, so some upcoming foreshadow for their next meeting. I guess we can conclude that it's going to be Friday. There was a question if it would be Friday or Saturday, and now we know it's going to be Friday the 14th, and sounds like they may go roller skating. And boy, she's a woman after my own heart. I recently purchased my own roller skates and rediscovered my passion for roller skating, and I just love it. It makes me feel so young again. To conclude, I did research April 8th, 1944, and this song that you're hearing right now, Long Ago and Far Away from the movie Covergirl, was the top 10 song. And I thought I would just share with you what I think Southern hospitality looks like. A woman who is just dressed like a Southern belle.
Dreamed a dream one day, and now that dream is here beside me. Long the skies were overcast, but now the clouds have passed. You're here at last.
I hope you enjoyed that. That's all for this week. Until next week.